This is the Science Project Instructions, the Science City Project Task 1, Chemical Change of a Constructed Statue, using the 5E model of instruction. Number 1 is to engage. You have observed the chemical changes of the Statue of Liberty and realized that it was originally copper, the color and material of a penny. You must build a statue to represent your dream city and select a material that will survive the weather's elements and not have a chemical change. Now, a chemical change is a result of a chemical reaction, and that is when two or more substances come together and produce a new substance. Some of the typical signs of a chemical reaction or chemical change is the release of heat, release of gas, of an odor, change of a color, or a sound is produced. During this task, you are responsible for disproving that the material you choose to build your statue from will or will not have a chemical change as Liberty did. So that's the Statue of Liberty. So you're going to select the material. Now I know we're at home, so you may not have all the materials. You may not be able to build a statue. You don't have to have an actual statue, but if you just build kind of something, a stack of pennies, a few paper clips, if you have paper clips, stack of nickels, whatever you can, or go outside if you find some rocks, kind of put them together to represent your statue. So that's what you're going to use to represent your statue, whatever you can, whatever you think that will survive the weather's elements when you put it outside and not have a chemical change. And we'll give you more information about in detail what chemical changes are. And so based upon the material you choose to build with, let's say if you choose metal, copper, rock, brick, concrete, etc., whatever you find and have available, you will plan and conduct an experiment, an investigation to determine if the building material will experience a chemical change if left outside. So you're going to see if you leave the material you have outside, will it experience a chemical change? You will observe, record, and construct a diagram picture of what the material looks like. Leave it outside for at least 3 days. Now, depending on where you are, you may want to try to find an area where it cannot be disturbed. If you're in an apartment, you may, if you can put it outside a window or in an area where you can kind of hide it, where it's still exposed to the weather, but someone will come and knock it down or think it's trash and throw it in the garbage. Try to find an area outside where you can leave this for 3 days. And then you're going to go back and check on it each day, recording what you see. So elaborate. The last part of this is you're going to elaborate. Tell me some more about it. You're going to construct, draw a diagram to collect data about the changes occurring with the material as it stays outside. You're recording what you observe about the material and the changes that you see. And then you're going to evaluate. You will use evidence to engage in a written summary to communicate how the material you choose for your statue chemically changed throughout the investigation. You will prove or disprove the claim that the material is experiencing a chemical change and will provide solutions that will help to reduce, that means slow down, to have it not increase the rate of the chemical change of the material for the statue. So you'll be scored on the rubric for as being distinguished. So if you have included illustrations, photos, or captions, you compare and contrasted physical or chemical changes, that will be a proficient, or distinguished mark for your project. And your second project is the safety technology protocols. What type of technology and weather protocols will you install in your community to ensure the safety of your citizens or the people that live in your community in the case of constructive and or destructive forces For example, tornadoes, floods, storms, earthquakes, etc. So some of examples in New Orleans and Louisiana, they have levees, things that protect against floods. They also have in some buildings in around earthquake zones, they're built with certain mechanisms to allow them to sway to prevent the buildings from breaking apart during earthquakes. And you may find for tornadoes, in areas where tornadoes hit, commonly they may have bunkers or underground structures that families and people can go into in the case of a tornado. So you want to make sure you explain in detail what measures you will have. The measures are the things that you will have, the protocols to ensure the safety. All right, how those things will work, how the community will be notified. Text, sirens. Sirens are a type of alarm, like a fire alarm. Things that make noise, police sirens or ambulance siren that alerts you to a certain danger or warning. Calls, telephone calls, or other things that alerts the public, and how the community will access those measures. Apps, programs, websites, where they have apps on their phone that alerts them. Would there be a program, television, website they can go to? How will they be notified? And who is in charge of the program? The fire, police, weatherologists / meteorologists, people on the news that tell you the weather, tell you what's going on, give you warnings for tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, all that. Who will be in charge? Who will be the chief agency responsible for your technology and weather protocols? I mean, the things you do to keep the citizens of your community safe in case of a destructive force like a tornado or earthquake or flood comes in to your community and affects your community. So the project, for distinguished the high level, you will have all 4 proficient criteria. So you have all of these. You'll have everything included in your project. Plus you will have included illustrations or photos or captions. You will have built a model of the safety tools for your city. You have planned out all the processes and procedures. You'll have everything listed here.